Guys, I got a mic so you won't hear Lewis's breathing anymore. I'm sorry. Okay. Action. Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. We are gonna do unique things around our Hong Kong apartment because you guys had a lot of questions in the shoebox video. Unfortunately, because we don't live in the shoebox anymore, we can't really further discuss the knickknacks of that place. But I think a lot of you guys were also asking about windows. We did have 3 small windows, 2 in the bedroom and 1 in the kitchen, but the view was so ugly, so we just kept the curtains closed all the time. And let's start with this place. So I would say the first unique thing in this Hong Kong apartment, which we're basically comparing it to our previous unit, but also our life in Canada and Toronto. Things are really different. So our first one is a dual washer dryer. I'm not even sure if this is, I swear this is available in America as well, but it's just something that we weren't used to. There's various functions here, but to be honest, the only ones that we use is a rapid wash and the dry. We tried playing around with this and looking online for the manual, but everything is just too confusing to be honest, and so we just stick to those two just to keep it safe. Same way to load the laundry as if you were to load any other laundry unit, to place it in here. And also try to adjust the temperature, but we can't, so yeah, we're gonna take the L for that. The second unique thing in our unit is that both our ACs, the one inside and the one outside, why are you so close, is dual function as well in terms of drying and cooling. But the cool one about the outside one is it's also a heating function as well. Not sure if you even knew that, babe. But as you can see here, let's say it's already on, there's different modes. So the sun is apparently a heating option. And then if you see the little raindrops, that's the drying function, which is very important in Hong Kong because everything is very humid, which is the opposite of Canada where everything is so dry and we need humidifiers. But here in Hong Kong, which is my third point of what's unique, we need a dehumidifier, which is right here. And essentially, this is a lifesaver. The only annoying thing is that we have to empty it at least once or twice a day. And it's tricky when we go to travel. We just put it at a very high function so that it slowly takes the moisture. But this is also what we use to dry our clothes. There's also a drying clothes function, which is what is on now. We have the IKEA rack that goes right over it. Or if we want it to be a bit less dry, we just put it on auto and it figures itself out. I've actually never played around with the fan sleeper purifying child lock, but I guess we should. Yeah, so then our fourth thing that makes sense here in a unique way, and this is thanks to our landlord, we have good mood lighting. So I'm going to turn off the lights, don't get scared. And you put on this light. This really sets a nice vibe if you want to wind down for the evening, or if we're watching a movie on a weekend, just really want to relax and be in that romance vibes. We put on this light. And in the bedroom as well, there's 2 mood lights too. So there's one by the stairs, which I think is very nice. Then there's also one, not the feet, up on our bed as well, as I shown in the previous video. And this is very perfect because it's close by to where I sleep, and so every time I'm reading, I just have this on as a nightlight, and then when I'm going to sleep, I can just turn it off without getting up. And then the fifth, I think I'm on the fifth one now. Lost track, but it's okay, guys, don't keep track. The fifth thing that it makes a lot of sense in our unit in Hong Kong is our built-in storage. So I think I also mentioned that we were not a big fan of the storage when we walked into this unit because it just felt like the room was much smaller than it could have been, and there's a lot of limitations. But as you can see, it's come to have been very efficient because we can hide everything in plain sight and not have to worry about it. There's some storage drawers here, one next to where I sleep.
I'm gonna show the feet.
That's fine, you can show the feet. Lewis said, I'm gonna show the feet. And then there's storage even on this side. 3 drawers. And then there's also a drawer here that we don't really use because the door is kind of broken, but it's not like we need that anyways. Also, our closet is very spacious. And there's also a light here too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I showed it to you before. Anyways, Lewis said that he didn't know that, but I've definitely shown him before. But our closet also lights up. Yeah. We're going to test to see if it's on his side. Yeah, it's on your side as well.
Where's the light switch?
Light switch is on my side.
Oh, it's only on your side. Oh,
yeah, light switch is only on my side.
Wait,
right over
sick.
here. So there's 4 quadrants with drawers in the middle and shelves at the top as well. So that has become very, very clutch in us organizing our clothes. Also, everything on the wooden platform here when we get to our bed is all storage space as well, which is nice. Keep things tidy. And outside is a good amount of storage as well. So this also came when we moved in. A lot of storage here, 4 drawers here, more like a pantry shelf kind of thing here for our snacks. 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay. And yeah, then also they also built this one because they knew it'd be easier to store like an oven, which I think was also very helpful. We also didn't like this in the beginning, but after using the place for a year, it helped a lot because then it saves us desk space. And then we have more storage up here for like baking products. Some storage here, right in front of the electricity thing. And that's where we keep our dishes. And luckily, our fridge is much bigger than the previous one, so also storage up there. So yeah, storage is pretty good. We also have our shoe rack here that came before we even moved in. And it's nice to keep our shoes nice and tidy. We're also thinking of getting another one from IKEA to place outside because we accumulate a lot of shoes here apparently. The sixth unique thing in our Hong Kong apartment is that there are on and off switches for our ACs and the water heater. So if you come over here, this is for our.
What is that for?
Isn't this for the AC?
But it was off.
Well, anyways, ignore that one. So this one right here is for our water heater. Turn it off and on if we want to use it. This is something that I've never come across until moving into Hong Kong. And the other interesting part about the water heater is that I think every unit in this building, come on in, has this Stable Eltron thing where you can control the temperature of the water that comes out. But I find that this is very gimmicky because we don't even play around with this. It doesn't really work. We just keep it at the same temperature and adjust how hot we want it by the manual toggle. So I'm like, I don't know why this is necessary.
English is going on?
Yeah, no English, guys. I'm sorry. And then we have a switch here as well, which controls the AC power. So there's not only a switch for the water heater, but a switch for certain electrical units, just like the AC, which I find very interesting. Something that we don't have in Toronto. And then the seventh unique thing about living in Hong Kong is that despite living in a high rise condo, your view is blocked by like 10,000 million other buildings. So that's what we call density issues in Hong Kong. So luckily, if we go to our clubhouse, you can see the top view, very nice. But as you can see from our view, all you see is just other people's apartments. One day we'll find a neighbor and wave to them, but not today, I guess. And now you can also see the calm after the storm. So yeah, so the eighth unique thing about living in Hong Kong, specifically in this apartment, is that rent is very, very expensive. Honestly, I had no idea that Hong Kong was one of the most expensive cities to live in because I thought Toronto was the most expensive city to live in. Obviously biased. But even living in such a decent sized unit here, it does cost us a lot. And that leads me to answering a lot of your questions from my previous video. How much do we pay for rent? So we pay 26 Hong Kong dollars. I mean, 26,000 Hong Kong dollars a month. I'll put the conversion in the caption below or the subtitles. And our previous unit, the shoebox, was 10,000 Hong Kong dollars a month. So much more expensive than what you can really get in Toronto. Because I used to live in a unit in Toronto that was much bigger than this one, around 500, 600. It was like 500 to 600 square footage, and that only cost me 1,200 a month Canadian dollars, and I shared with a roommate, so she paid a bit more than I did because she had a master bedroom, but total was like 3,000, which is like much less compared to here. So the ninth unique thing about living in Hong Kong, especially in our unit, or most units to be honest, is that kitchens are very, very small. So obviously, we're someone that likes to cook when we have the time, but even the sink, you cook one simple thing, you immediately have to wash it because you cannot pile dishes here. It just gets too cluttery. You won't be able to wash your hands, wash any fruits or vegetables. Dish rack is non-existent at this point as well. Something that I have gotten to get used to. Rice cooker, at least we have some appliances that are useful in our everyday life to make it easier. But like, look at our stove. At most, we will literally just fit one pan. It's hard to even cook two things at the same time, so that also is very time consuming. And even our microwave is down here, but it's very weird because you have to press a digital button to open it up, which I'm used to just pulling something open. But I feel like this is not a proper microwave because sometimes it makes the food too cold. Sorry, not too cold, too hot, or sometimes it's not hot enough. Can't find that magic in between. And then, even though this is a multifunctional oven, it's only okay for baking and air frying every now and then. But we tried baking brownies and such like that, but it always gets too dry. So I feel like this isn't really a proper baking oven either. So it's really tricky when we're trying to figure out how to properly use our kitchen in the way that we're used to. But we're trying our best. And yeah, the 10th thing is going to be our garbage chute, which we will show you in a bit. So this is our garbage room. It's not actually a chute, which I'm really used to in Toronto, but it's a garbage bin that they empty every now and then. So then we just place it in here. Okay, so that was our re-tour of our home in Hong Kong, but emphasizing what's unique about it compared to what you may be used to. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any other questions or want to see any other types of content here about life in Hong Kong, fitness or wellness, let me know in the comments. And see you next time.